which has been quite a task, a labour of love, shall we say, to go through. Some have been featured more than others, and we've got quite an exciting mechanic coming up for amulet holders in terms of how that's formed. But initially, the way the junk list will happen is that the Queen's Council have gone through the requests and picked a very wide variety of projects to add to the initial junk list. So how it's going to work, or at any one point in time, the way that it'll start off is there will be up to 40 projects on the junk that'll be available to be used on the junk card at any point in time. That'll be a rotational list, so they'll be swapped in and out as they go through the voting mechanic. And amulet holders will be sort of the ones that carry out the majority of that process. So everyone will be able to nominate. Amulet holders will be able to vote in an interactive manner, and then those that reach the threshold will get passed through for the final review by the Queen and her council, just to make sure that the contracts are safe and those sorts of things, which is very exciting. We do have the first junk list iteration ready as well. So I'm sure that everyone is dying to find out, what projects are on there, which things are going to disappear, which are going to get turned into that lovely junk, which items are we going to sacrifice into the flames and come out the other side with goblin currency. And how's it going to work? Wow.
Should we ask the chat to put forward their guesses of which collections they think will have made the junk list in the Horde Hall chat?
I just got rugged on my connection with Discord, so if we could burn Discord servers, that would be great.
Just net connection, mate. Yeah. So we do have that ready to go. I believe we can post that shortly.
Yeah. Okay, I'll hold fire.
So I'll give the go ahead to drop that list.
Board Gentleman's Ape. That sounds like such a legitimate project, though. Metablocks.
He's actually. I actually was talking to that guy, and he said, I'll give you your ape if Fluff World still exists in 2025, which we most definitely will. He was offering it to Dobrin, who I believe is in the crowd, and Dobrin generously said, "Don't do that. Come and check out the mechanics and understand the tech behind it." So thank you for your diplomatic response there.
Wait, when he says an ape, was he offering you a Board Gentleman ape?
I think.
He also very eloquently put fluff with a double F, so one can assume perhaps that he might be able to get out of litigation that way.
Right. Yes, that's a very sneaky little loophole. But it's funny. He actually released some NFTs himself last year, and I own one. And they OpenSea hid them. So don't throw stones, mate. But yeah, if we can, if the
junk list is now live.
If everyone's ready, the list is up.
Yeah.
So feel free to have a look at those, comment, get that chat in there. If anyone has any burning questions, then, post them in the chat.
And while we wait for those, fluffy goblin business, maybe a little talk about where the idea for having junk first came from, and the idea of converting unwanted NFTs into junk sort of originally came from. Where did that seed first flourish?
Yeah, I mean, I can speak at a very high level, and I was actually chatting with someone last night about this, who's one of the sort of top influencer educators in the space, around how, from the start we saw kind of what the potential for this industry was, and how it could change the world as a whole, but that what has generally happened to date in the industry in terms of speculative trading was not the sustainable path forward. And really there were two ways to help onboard people to this industry. One being education, which is very important, and the other being user experience. Now, this person, or Zeneca, who I was talking to last night, has focused very heavily on the education side of things, and I have a lot of respect for him in the sense that he's kind of taken that path as an influencer in the space that was more focused on just how to educate people and bring them into the industry, as opposed to many other so-called influencers in the space who are just interested in basically taking as much money as they can. Whereas for us, we've been really focused on how can we improve the user experience and remove the friction from that throughout the user journey. The 10K collection approach was, a meme at a moment in time, but it certainly isn't kind of a sustainable route to mass adoption. And we always wanted to look at how we could bring collections to life that have far more reach and ability for basically anyone to jump on board and personalize them themselves. But in doing so, we were conscious that there was a massive existing not just, community, but the entire industry with multiple different sub-communities that sorry, 1 second.
He's just in the middle of a D&D game, I think.
Exactly. No, that there are multiple different communities that had kind of been left behind throughout the process, whether with good or bad intentions. Sometimes best laid plans go to waste. And we almost kind of wanted to play into the narrative of, you see so many massive publications that talk about, NFTs are a scam, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And we're kind of like, you know what? In many cases, they are. Unfortunately, many people use this industry as a route for scamming others. And what we want to do is help those people that have been left in the dust or left holding the bag to actually come out of it with something. So, as I've said, I'm sure everyone here or anyone who's been in this industry for more than a few months has NFTs in their wallet that, a friend or my community manager told me to ape into. Not pointing that fingers at anyone. And wish that we could just get them out of our wallets. So when we look at that across the board, it's just such an incredible opportunity for us to expand our community and to reach out across the entire industry, and as with a kind of extending an olive branch almost to everyone in the industry to say, hey, look, I'm sure most of you have kind of been in the situation where you've been left with something that, unfortunately didn't work out. Well, here's an opportunity for you to actually realize some value from that. But we did it in a fun way with Goblins and Junk.
There's also, on top of that as well, there are some projects that we've added. I noticed there's a few keen eyes that have spotted some things on there that aren't rugs or anything, and some of them are included because our junker specifically likes them. So, for example, some of you may have noticed that thingy art is on there. Now, thingy art is definitely not an unwanted or unloved project whatsoever. It is beautiful AI art that has been created by hardworking thingies. But our junker, Gizmo, is very much an art lover. And so he's decided to accept art paintings in conjunction with accepting that. So he will accept thingy art as part of this initiative as well.
And I think talking to that, there's, some of you may have seen projects like Polymorphs on there who are kind of part of our broader ecosystem. We actually spoke directly to the team, ensuring that, they were happy for us to include them and essentially provide their community with a form of utility. The Polymorphs project, actually did help with us laying the foundations for some of our swappable technology. So, we definitely wouldn't consider that a rug of any form, but it's one that, despite best intentions, didn't manage to get to where they wanted it. And once again, it's just an opportunity for us to provide an alternative form of utility to those sorts of projects.
The Polymorphs one is, when you look at some of the polymorphs as well, you'd see them probably, if you've watched any of the polymorphic therapy, some of them are probably begging to be junked.
Exactly. And
with some, sorry, go ahead, Fred.
I was going to say, what would you say to somebody who's now looking at their bag and saying it's not on the list? What are their chances of getting their unwanted NFTs onto that list?
Well, pretty high. I mean, that's up to the community interaction. So the voting mechanic is something that will be the next stage that we go live with. It is a fully interactive mechanic, and it's taken some inspiration from some successful sort of real life and interactive voting mechanisms that have been used in the past. But we want to make sure that we develop it right and that it's a fun and enjoyable experience. So that will be when we can start looking at adding things in. So if people have stuff on the that isn't on the list that they would like to see added, then the best way to do that is to have amulets, because that's how you'll be able to vote, or make friends with amulets, or just drum up support around it once we get there. Like if a community, for example, was to come to us and go, hey, we would love a second chance, we would love a second lease on life with our project, we still have a few spots available at the moment until the voting goes live to be able to add some extra projects in there. So that would be like a really good way to do it.
Okay.
Yep. And in terms of that community as well, so the way that the FuturePass signups as well will be available with Wallet Connect and Coinbase later today as well when the offering goes live. So for those of you that have been waiting for that, please make sure you do that. That'll help you claim your amulet. And it means that we also have a way in place now for anyone to come and make a FuturePass to come and join into this mechanic as well when we release all of the amazing videos, etc., that we have coming out around this later today, once it's active.
I also wanted to mention, in choosing this initial junk list, there were some that we really, really wanted to include, but we actually, just for everyone's safety, we manually audit every single contract that goes onto the list to ensure that there's nothing malicious or poorly written code within the contract that means that it could lead to some form of exploit or loss of assets of value to any holder that interacts with it. One such project, do you want to mention it, Kyle? You know the one I'm talking about.
The one that wouldn't work? The crypto zoo one, you mean? Yes. So, for example, I'll say a crypto zoo, which was Logan Paul's project. The contract was so bad we couldn't even audit it. It's not even officially approved by Etherscan. So that got proposed, I think, about 15 times, or nominated about 15 times, and so things like that, where the contract is so trash that we can't even check to see if it's safe for our community, as much as we want to add it. It's just so funny.
And as we roll out the next stage of junking and the voting mechanics around it, we'll seek to give as much visibility through the stages of that process as well, so people can see obviously the collections that they own, that they want to nominate, the ones that have already been nominated and being voted on, the ones that have been approved and are active, the ones that have been or are under review, and those that have been rejected for whatever reason they may be.
And how long would I have to burn my unwanted NFTs in my wallet when they're on the list?
For the moment, now. Do it now. So goblins are going to work in seasons, which we'll touch more on at the live stream later this week. But typically, the junk list will be a consistently rotating thing. We're looking to have it so that you'll have an actual countdown, a visible countdown on when something would be moving off the list, for example, so that you'd know, or that community will know that that's when their chance to get the new lease on life, the renewal, would be ending. I believe we had a question as well. Hooded asked, wait, where was the question gone? Is it one NFT burn for the junk to mint? Yes. So you can burn up to 15 NFTs at a time. So you'll be able to burn up to 15 NFTs at a time from multiple collections. You'll need to approve each collection first, and then you'll have the burn fee to burn all those, and you will receive a randomized amount of junk per NFT. So it will be between 50 and 300 junk per NFT burn. So sometimes you won't get enough for a goblin, and sometimes you'll get way more. But you'll get the total at the end of that as well. It's just very exciting. But yeah,
and is junk the only way I can purchase or mint a goblin?
No. You'll also be able to purchase it with ERC20 tokens to start with, which is ETH, Silo, Asto, and USDC. That will be $20 equivalent for that. And Denira asked, how is the total junk per NFT determined? Well, that is entirely up to Gizmo's mood on the day and the time at which you junk. So
sometimes he's drunk and generous.
He might be a little hungover from too much goblin rum or something like that. So he might be a bit stingy.
Goblin rum.
And Fluffernutter asked, we've got some good questions coming through. Fluffernutter asked, does burning an NFT for junk have any effect on the goblin that is minted? Currently, no. One junk is one junk. Doesn't matter what you burn, you're still going to get junk back. And
the only
burns
thing.
go.
Oh yeah.
There you go. The only thing.
No. That's we might save that for the next.
Yeah, keep that one on a hot pause. There's a question here: is there going to be a museum of the trash, almost like a Hall of Fame or a Hall of Shame?
Before I continue, a quick word from our sponsors that make the show possible.
Introducing Fraz Cola, the world's premier beer-flavored beverage.
It's Fraz, delicious, highly nutritious with a top-secret recipe that's so delicious.
Nothing beats the buzz of a cool Fraz Cola. What are you waiting for?
We're getting Fraz to the NAS.
Consume at your own risk. Symptoms may include and death.
That's nice.
I mean, that's a good one. Yeah, there's the Burn wallet, which you can look on OpenSea if you can get it to load. But
that's every single burn ever.
That's everything that's ever been burned, which is a lot.
So short answer, no, but we like the idea, I think.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Does the relative value of the NFT burned or the amount paid have any effect on the amount of junk received? No.
And I think to expand that point is there anything at the current moment in time that has an effect on the type of goblin minted or the traits of that goblin, etc.?
No, the junk does not affect the goblin for now.
There's someone here, man, I really struggle reading with the black on black with the goblin-y words. I'm colorblind as well, so that doesn't help.
Halifax.
Okay, what is the plan to market to these communities? We have a very fun piece of content coming out shortly, which we'll be driving across all channels. We have announcements going out through a few key partners and sort of educators in the space, and one of whom I mentioned earlier, and also some larger press activations as well, which you'll see coming down the pipeline shortly. But by all means, feel free to go forth and help us spread the word. Yep. It is quite difficult to kind of bring this to a community that is somewhat dead or quiet,
disbanded.
Yeah. We almost need to charge through all of the Discords and see if which ones are still active.
Yeah.
Who may be
We've got some good questions coming in about goblins as well now.
Do they have AI brains?
Brains at all.
Futureverse assets at the moment can work with brains, I believe.
So yeah, don't forget, guys, we've got another AMA about this. So there's going to be some questions that are going to be answered at a later date, but they're all being noted, and we'll make sure that we cover them if we can.
No, you cannot junk seekers.
No.
Time has passed.
Exactly. God, my friend. Absolutely.
You had your chance.
Reflection asked, talk about goblin rarity or uniqueness. Sure, every single goblin is 1 of 1.
Rare. Sounds rare, Captain.
Someone's asked, how do coding amulets or different level of amulets affect the type of goblin? Well, the goblin, so there will be amulet-specific traits. It's up to the community to find those. But more importantly, we did say that the amulets are coming preloaded with some junk from the Queen as a gift, and that will be released as part of the comms. But there will be bronze will get 100 junk, silvers will get 200, and golds will get 500. And that will be distributed on the third day of the summoning. So it won't be up front. We want everyone to participate in the junking mechanic and enjoy that. And then on the third day, the Queen will bless you all with junk if you have amulets in your wallet. So if you have an amulet and you haven't created your future, or you owed an amulet and you haven't created your future pass yet, please do that when you can, because that way you will get your junk when you sign in. Yuzu junk. Well, everyone's answering it for you already, which is great. I love when the community takes over and starts answering things.
Very good. Very good. Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, just bear in mind, we do have that AMA coming up on Thursday, and I didn't want to take up too much of these guys' time because it is quite a busy day today. So maybe we'll take a couple more questions and then we will bounce out for a little bit.
2 minutes max.
2 minutes max. So if you've got your burning questions, please post them in the chat now and we will get them.
And perhaps some closing statements from the Goblin Horde leaders.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Good at 69.
Closing statements. All right, my personal trainer told me to start doing lunges, and I said, that's a big step forward.
Yes. Follow that up, Alex. Go on.
Yeah, that's a hard one, Fluffy.
That's a tough one. I mean, honestly, it's I've been having a pretty shit day. I've actually come down with some diarrhea. It turns out it's hereditary. It runs in the genes.
Oh no! Oh no!
Oh my gosh, I freaked out for a second. I was like, "Whoa, we're about to go real deep." Okay, and then I'm like, "Oh, that was cruel."
Oh,
Yeah, that's a step too far, even for lunges.
no. Nope.
Yeah. All right.
But I'm excited to see how far into the Web3 metasphere we can reach, and if we can uncover some of these perceivably dead communities. Do please let us know on Twitter if any of these communities reach out to you with a goblin minted from their burnt unwanted NFTs.
Yes.
But otherwise, we're really, really excited to launch this. So stay tuned. Comms coming soon. And yeah, thank you so much for coming, guys.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks everyone. We've got to get back to Goblin mode and building, but we'll still be popping into the chat when we can. But thank you for all the questions, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you so much for spending your time with us, guys. I know it's been a busy as day, so you get back to it. And yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Cool.
Goblins up, guys.
Thanks everyone.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and maybe consider watching one of my other videos. Bunnies up!